This is the Laundry Time Podcast. I'm Justin Whitaker. So it's kind of interesting on the back of a discussion of the future of media, we get to see one instance, one potential future of media in Google+. Now, I finally did get an invite, maybe like 5 days into Google+ being launched. So I've spent the bulk of my time basically comparing it to other platforms. And it's an interesting take on social media. I don't know if it's going to kill anything off, like it's going to kill off any of the other platforms. At least not yet. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Google does next. You know, this is the first iteration. What is plus 1.1 going to look like? What is plus 1.5 going to be? What is plus 2.0 going to look like? That's going to be interesting to see how they grow it, what functionality they start pushing into it. But for right now, I'd say it's hard to say if it's going to kill off any platforms. But it is a really interesting take on social networks, on social media in general. For those people who aren't on the platform yet, picture a mix of Tumblr, of Facebook, of Flickr, and of Twitter mixed together. I mean, you can basically do a lot of the things that those platforms can do in a nice Google-style minimal interface. So, you know, if you're using Tumblr to post blog posts or to put up images or share videos, well, Plus can do that. If you're talking with specific groups of people in groups on Facebook, Plus can do that too. If you're just sharing status updates on Twitter, yeah, they've got that covered. So it's can be used in all these ways. You can basically use the platform however you want. I'd even extend it because a lot of the people that are talking about it are only talking about it as a Facebook killer because everybody's looking for the Facebook killer, right? But it also can do stuff like you can curate content. So you could actually use it like Amplify, or you could use Plus to create stories like Storify, right? All you'd need to do would be sequential blog posts on the same theme. So maybe a lot of the smaller networks have something to worry about too. The one killer thing, the one killer feature that might actually cause Google Plus to grow is the circles. I mean, this is a really cool way of thinking about your followers and connections in social media. It's really intuitive and really nice. What Google Plus lets you do is it lets you add people to circles of friends. So your entire group can be in one, so you can see the entire fire hose, everybody that you're connected to. And then you can start drilling down. You know, I can only see my close friends, my business partners, my family, my gaming buddies. You know, however you want to slice and dice or parse your followers and your friends and your connections, it can do that. It's really, really nice, and it's intuitive, and it's easy, and it really does sort of mirror the way people do think about their friends and their connections. So that might be the killer app behind Google+. That might actually make Facebook, who can also do this, but it's much more difficult. You know, that might give them some pause and make them wonder if they have something to worry about. I mean, I expect Facebook to actually revamp their whole group and listing system to match what Plus is doing. Because if they don't, they're going to be in serious trouble. Is anybody else going to be in trouble? In long term, would Twitter have something to worry about? Well, all the other questions that the blogosphere is basically coming up with, will it kill off these platforms, or will it change the way social networking is done, or all these things? It's very minimal right now. It can basically handle the basic blogging and status updating and microblogging that a lot of the other platforms can do. It's not, anything revolutionary in that sense. But, and this is a big but, only a small number of people, relatively speaking, are on it. you have to have a Google account. You have to be invited in, and it'll be interesting to see where things go later on. If they integrate Plus into search, so the more that you're actually sharing content, or the more that your content is being commented on Plus is actually feeding into your search engine ranking, game over for everybody else. I mean, if you're a business person, a blogger, any type of consultant, you want to show up higher in the search rankings so that people can find you and find your content, and you can grow your network, and you can grow the opportunities for doing business and making money. And if Plus ends up being pulled into your search rankings, your page rankings in a seamless way, there's no reason to go anywhere else. You might as well just move all your blog content over and try to grow your network, get to those 5,000 people, because amplifier of your blog into 5,000 people is tremendous. And most blogs don't have that sort of connection, that sort of network. You're lucky if you have 5,000 followers. And I think that there's a bunch of people that are sort of on the vanguard that are sort of thinking around that way. Like, oh, well, maybe I need to actually think about how I'm posting my content. Maybe all of my content's at Google anyway. Maybe I need to think about just doing it for real and, foregoing my own blog hosting platform. Or I don't need to think about Tumblr anymore, posters anymore, because I can just do everything that I'm doing there over here. So there's a lot of things that need to happen before you can put meat on the bones of the discussion of what Google Plus will kill. First of all, it has to be available to everybody. It's not yet. So until the full network is on Plus and everybody's playing with it, you won't be able to say if Facebook is in trouble, or Twitter is in trouble, or any of the other platforms are in trouble. The other part of it is that a lot of what Google Plus does is a lot like FriendFeed, and FriendFeed was a failure. So, or at least FriendFeed is a failure because it never really gained traction. And yes, the FriendFeed technology powers Facebook now, but in terms of its overall popularity, will Google be happy with just having the small advanced guard generating content on Plus? I don't know. The end goal seems to be Google has to own social. And if Plus can't do that because it's a lot like FriendFeed, who knows how long the strategy will work. It might end up being a failure. The other part of it is that it's still a little rough. Like, the basic functionality is there. The circle functionality is there and is awesome. There's some things that still need to be added to it. Like, for example, I'd like to be able to email stuff into Plus. So I'd like to be able to post from Gmail into my Plus. Can't do that yet. I'd like to be able to natively post to other platforms from Plus. So, for example, if I post in a Plus, I'd like it to go to Posterous. I'd like it to go to Tumblr. I'd like it to go to Facebook. I'd like it to go to Twitter. You can do that through a couple of plugins. Not all of them, but they're starting to come. You can do them through Chrome plugins, but I'd like to have that functionality natively. Maybe that'll come later on. The 5,000 person limit, that might be a reason why a lot of this advanced guard that's on there now might want to actually drop out. On the other hand, maybe they'll think of it as an opportunity to converse with a smaller group of people. I don't have 50,000 Twitter followers, so I don't know what it's like to actually try to converse with 50,000 people trying to talk to you all at once. Maybe just having 10% of that will make social a lot easier and a lot more engaging for those internet superstars. So it's rough around the edges. It's early days. It's really interesting. It does show that there's a lot of credence to micro-chunk content and serialized content as a future of media. Google's certainly putting their eggs in a Tumblr-like basket. The future of media, we're watching it as it happens. I'm Justin Whitaker. This has been the Laundry Time Podcast. Thanks for listening.